Good evening, I'm Jessica Higgs.
And I'm Jocelyn Schifferdecker. Welcome to UCentral News. Female varsity athletes at the University of Central Oklahoma have filed a Title IX lawsuit against the university for sex discrimination and retaliation. I spoke with the lead counsel for the plaintiffs to find out more, and he said it's one of the more extreme cases he's seen. Here's the story.
I've successfully represented more women and men athletes in Title IX litigation against their schools than anyone in the country. And I have never seen a case with such extreme unequal treatment and retaliation.
According to the complaint filed by 3 female track and cross country athletes, the university treats female athletes much worse than their male counterparts. The female cross country and track team don't have their own locker rooms or even a track on campus to practice on. In contrast, the men's football and wrestling teams have top-of-the-line locker rooms with free vending machines, customized nameplates, and a lounging area.
UCO can offer its student athletes whatever kind of athletic program it wants to. But whatever the program it is, it has to offer equal treatment and equal opportunities to the men and women on campus.
The lawsuit was the athletes' last resort. They met with UCO athletic director in February 2022 to ask for equal treatment. In response, they were told the only reason their team was reinstated after being cut in 2000 was to comply with Title IX standards, and they, quote, weren't really wanted, unquote. The athletic director told them they would hire a consultant and get back to them with a solution by May 15th. They heard nothing.
What happens next really depends on UCO. If the school wants to comply with Title IX and provide the equal treatment and accountability for its retaliation, that's what we want. If it doesn't want to, we will fight as long and hard as is necessary.
The university was officially served with the lawsuit September 27th. They have 21 days to respond.
And I reached out to the university, and they said they do not comment on allegations in pending or active litigation, but they look forward to responding following court rules. I also reached out to the UCO athletic director and have not yet received a response, but we will keep you updated as we find out more information.
Great work on that, Jocelyn. And at this hour, Hurricane Ian is pounding the Florida coast. UCO students can help those affected by Hurricane Ian by donating various supplies to the Red Cross. The Red Cross needs items including perishable food, such as canned goods and bottled water. They also accept toiletry items and may need blood if any medical concerns arise. People are also allowed to make monetary donations toward the nonprofit. Donations can be dropped off at any of the Red Cross centers in downtown Oklahoma City.
And let's take a look now at a live shot from Florida where Hurricane Ian is beginning to rev up. As you can see here, winds are extremely high with a downpour of rain. Many coastal areas have already reported flooding throughout the area. Currently, there are over 2.5 million people seeking evacuation.
As Jocelyn said, millions of Floridians are under those evacuation orders as Hurricane Ian marches toward the Sunshine State's west coast. The hurricane made landfall today as a Category 4. CNN's Ivan Rodriguez is in Punta Gorda, close to where Ian is expected.
Your time to evacuate is coming to an end.
An urgent warning from Florida's governor, imploring residents to get to higher ground as Hurricane Ian barrels toward the state.
Hey, you're in a mandatory evacuation.
More than 2.5 million people are under evacuation orders along the southwest coast, but officials are telling all Florida residents to brace for impact.
There's also potential for flash flooding and river flooding with 10 to 20 inches across central and northeast Florida.
Ian caused a nationwide blackout after rolling through Cuba Tuesday, and thousands of utility workers are standing by across Florida to help deal with potential power outages.
We also have line workers and line men and line women coming from 27 other states. They're positioned at 24 different locations throughout the state.
Rains from the outer bands of the hurricane are already whipping southern Florida, and at least 2 possible tornadoes caused damage Tuesday night. Schools, supermarkets, and theme parks across the state have announced closures as the window for people to board up and head out is coming to a close.
We cannot send first responders into harm's way because you decided not to leave.
In Punta Gorda, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
some of those images are just incredible. I mean, it's so sad to see what's going on. And Oklahoma actually did send some crews, some linemen and women to Florida to help with those power outages. But we hope that they don't have to, work so hard.
And we hope that everybody there is able to find a safe space. And Amber, like we saw in that package, looks like it's really revving up. Do you have any updates for us?
Hurricane Eden is a very powerful hurricane that is coming through Florida currently. This hurricane is considered a Category 4, but it would not be surprising if this hurricane does turn into a Category 5. Like you said, Edmond did send out some people to go over into Florida to help the people that are in need when it comes to power and other materials that are needed during this time. Now, we're going to talk about some facts that are happening in Florida at the moment. Hurricane Ian facts. 1 million customers are currently out of power, and that's no good, but there is a bunch of rain and a lot of other issues going on with this, so it's not very surprising that we are seeing this happen there currently. Ian is the strongest storm to hit the west coast of Florida right now. It's right in front of Harvey, which happened in 2007. This hurricane is considered a Category 4 with 150-mile-per-hour winds. So people that are currently in Florida, please consider to take shelter if you were not able to leave, and to find a good, safe spot, and make sure you have things that are covering up windows, doors, so you are safe from the powerful winds that may break those things. Now, moving on locally right now, currently, it is 86 outside, and it feels like 88. I was just outside not that long ago, and it felt hotter than that. So it's pretty toasty out there right now, with a small wind of 3 miles per hour, and the humidity is 27, which is not that bad, but we do wish there was a little bit more wind. Currently, we are looking at our statewide, and we are seeing a bunch of 80s and some lower 90s down into the southern part of the state. Lawton, we're seeing 91 right here. Ardmore is 91, and then Oklahoma City, we are seeing 87 degrees. Tulsa is 88, and Guyman is 86. Back to you.
Thanks, Amber. And the University of Oklahoma Medical Center has announced its plan to stop gender-affirming care services for transgender and gender non-conforming patients. This comes as a result of state legislation threatening to hold millions of dollars of federal funding designated for the University Hospitals Authority. Over the last year, Oklahoma has been a hot spot for controversial bills like the Save Women's Sports Bill, affecting transgender and gender nonconforming citizens.
And gender and sexuality continue to be a topic of conversation. Students on the UCO campus have the opportunity to attend a special conference later this week. We sent our own Ben Anderson out to get more information. Take a look.
The UCO BGLTQ and Women's Center is putting on their 7th annual International Gender and Sexualities Conference that will include over 100 presentations, discussions, roundtables, and much more over the course of 3 days.
And we have a variety of presentations, everything from talking about issues regarding working and motherhood to queer healthcare to talking about tattoos on neo-Nazis. So, I mean, there's literally something for everybody.
The presenters will range from UCO students.
So I'll be presenting on the intersection between neurodivergence and queerness and how that appears in love languages and relationships.
To experts, professors, and authors from all around the country.
I'm very excited to be presenting a keynote address that's called Queer Designs and Cold War Homophobia, Lessons from the Life of Bruce Goff.
The conference will take place right here on campus at the Nye University Center in the Grand Ballroom on the 3rd floor and is open for everyone to attend. From Edmond, Oklahoma, I'm Ben Anderson, UCentral News.
That looks amazing, Ben. I might have to go check that out. We do have a water alert for the Mass Communication Department here on campus. This Friday, the water in the MassCom building will be temporarily shut off. Beginning at 7 a.m., crews estimate the water will only be out for about an hour. However, restrooms will be out of service during this time, so if you do have class on Fridays, be aware. We're going to take another live look here at Hurricane Ian as the winds and the water are just smashing into that coast. Wow.
And UCentral's Amber Poston has this weekend's forecast for here in Oklahoma after the break.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Good afternoon, everybody. We're looking at a live shot in Florida currently. We're looking at this field right behind, or not a field, a backyard of a house right now. You can see the winds blowing pretty strong at the moment with a pretty powerful downpour right now. Now, there are a bunch of evacuations that are currently happening throughout the state, and we will look forward and more into that information.
Welcome back to UCentral News. We are bringing you continuing coverage of this hurricane.
And Amber, like you said, it seems to be getting worse. So what's the latest? And then what's going to happen here in Oklahoma?
There's a bunch of numbers that are going to be happening throughout the state right now. Now we're going to be looking at our statewide map right now. It is 87 degrees up in Oklahoma City. Up in Guyman, it is 86 degrees. Ardmore, it is 91. Now we're looking right now at this temperature tonight. It is going to be 60 degrees, which will feel pretty nice, and we will be feeling this humidity coming in, and we will have a small little breeze of wind. Now tonight we are looking at a little bit of a cooler night. We have a little bit of 50s up in the northern part of the state and a little bit of 60s and lower 50s throughout. In Oklahoma City is at 61. Now tomorrow, this heat is not going to leave us. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This heat is going to be staying with us for quite some time. Fall is not coming anytime soon, sadly. We are going to be staying in these 80s right now. 82 up in Oklahoma City. Guyman is 91, and 82 up in Ardmore. Tulsa is 80 currently right now. Now we're looking at our daily temperatures. It is going to be, it was 60 this morning, and it was 84 degrees right now. It does not feel like 84 degrees, I'm going to be honest. It is quite toasty outside. I was outside not very long ago, so you will be catching a little bit of a sweat right there. And tonight we will be feeling a little bit of a cooler breeze of 60 degrees. Now looking at our weekly map right now, a bunch of 80s that are happening currently, seeing 86, 82s, and a lot of 84s throughout this week in 87 degrees. Now, I do want to touch a little bit of Hurricane Ian right now. There was a bunch of confirmed tornadoes that were happening throughout the day today and yesterday. That hurricane is moving slowly, which isn't good, which is rising a bunch of water as it is going through the ocean right now. So that there is a lot of that happening, and there is going to be a lot more that will progress because of how powerful and how strong this storm is. It is still currently a Category 4, but may turn into a Category 5. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Amber, and that's just honestly devastating. I mean, just to see those images of Disney World and thinking that
boarding up everything, and like schools are closed, and we will continue to update you as we find out more information.
And when we return, the U.S. Embassy warns Americans in Russia to flee.
And Lizzo plays a centuries-old flute courtesy of Uncle Sam. See you after the break.
I was raised to believe in the power of possibility, to always move forward but never forget where I came from, to value hard work, ingenuity, and hospitality. On one hand, my people are rough and rugged. On the other, refined and elegant. They taught me how to love beautiful things and cherish my past, to seek out adventure, eat well, and to have a good time. So I keep their traditions alive every place I go. They call me Oklahoma City, but you can call me the modern frontier.
UCentral News as a whole, you got to be in those different areas, like being on camera, being off camera, being in the control room. And so I feel like that is what prepared me most about being in the workplace.
UCentral and the Mass Comm department has provided me all the tools and the fundamentals that are needed in order to thrive well and thrive fast at my job.
Maybe it's time to hit the road and visit a place where stories unfold. This is the land of the ultimate road trip, with sights old and new on Route 66. There's fun to be had, so much to do, and a few new surprises before you get through. Oklahoma has the most miles to share of Route 66. It's really quite rare. TravelOK.com will show you the way. Come see for yourself this iconic highway.
Welcome back. The U.S. Embassy in Moscow issued a security alert overnight urging U.S. citizens to leave Russia immediately while there are still options for departing the country. It comes in the wake of Russian President Vladimir Putin's order for partial mobilization of Russian men to fight in his war in Ukraine. The alert said Russia may refuse to acknowledge the U.S. citizenship of dual nationals, deny their access to U.S. consular assistance, and prevent their departure from Russia. Russia may also conscript dual nationals for military service. The alert said the embassy has severe limitations on its ability to help U.S. citizens, and conditions including transportation options may suddenly become even more limited.
And Democratic and Republican lawmakers on Capitol Hill may not agree on much, but many seem to agree that the person elected president is who should become president. A new bipartisan bill would make it harder to overturn a certified presidential election. The House has passed its own version of the bill. Just 9 Republicans supported it, but that legislation went further than the Senate version. That's why the Senate plan seems to have enough support to eventually pass both chambers. Lawmakers are unlikely to hold those votes until after the fall elections.
And an A-list performer gets her spotlight stolen by a centuries-old music maker. CNN's Jeremy Roth explains in today's Take a Look at This.
Lizzo just made history with an unlikely creative collaborator, the U.S. Library of Congress. The National Archival Institution lent the sassy singer a crystal flute first owned by President James Madison in the early 1800s. Lizzo tweeted that she became the first person ever to play the crystallic relic, and after 200 years, I'd say it's about dang time.
We just made history tonight!
The Library of Congress later tweeted confirming the flute was legit and made it back unharmed after stealing the show from Lizzo. And from highfalutin flutin' to
That is amazing.
That's
She
so
did it with those claws on,
Oh my
too.
gosh, yeah.
That's
And I didn't know that they could make flutes out of crystal.
Me
That's
neither.
crazy.
Learned something new.
I know, right? And coming up, UCentral's Brooke Niver discusses both men and women's Bronco golf.
Plus, one of Oklahoma's own athletes and former Sooner has a season-ending injury. Stay tuned.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision. Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah. Invent.
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at SheCanSTEM.
In the land of wonder and awe, you won't believe you see what you saw. Where there's something to do for young and for old, where stories are written and then they're retold. Visit travelok.com today. Come see for yourself and come out to play.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brooke Niver, and this is your sports update. The UCO golf team finished 4th at the Missouri Southern State University Classic on Tuesday. Central shot an 878 on a 54-hole course. The Broncos were only 7 shots from the first-place winner. Golfer Evan Griffith finished the final round 5 under 67 and took 10th in the individual standings with a total score of 218. Griffith's score was the 3rd lowest at the Classic on Tuesday. The men's team will be taking a short break before competing again in mid-October. And the women's golf team finished 6th at the Lady Tiger Classic on Tuesday. For 2 rounds, the team ended with a score of 650. Jarasuda Kunarok finished the Classic as 6th in the individual standings. The junior completed the 36-hole course 10 over 154, which was only a few shots back from the champion. She shot 5 birdies in the tournament, which was the second most of any player. The team will play their 3rd tournament for the season next week at the Golf Club of Edmond. The Central soccer team moved up 1 spot this week in the United Soccer Coaches Top 25 poll. The Broncos have been ranked number 11 this week with a 7-1-2 season record. Sophomore midfielder Adria Ramirez was named MIAA's Offensive Athlete of the Week. Ramirez scored 2 of the 3 goals in the Missouri Southern victory last week, which were more than any other player in the MIAA. She took 4 shots during the week, with all 4 shots scoring a goal. The Broncos are playing at home this weekend, hosting Nebraska Kearney on Friday and Fort Hays on Sunday. The beginning of the NFL season has been full of injuries. The Los Angeles Chargers left tackle Rashawn Slater will miss the rest of the season due to a tear in his left bicep tendon. Slater was the 13th pick overall in 2021 and also earned recognition at the Pro Bowl as a rookie last season. The team will definitely be missing a strong offensive lineman for the remainder of the season. The Buffalo Bills have experienced quite the rough patch of injuries as well. The Bills have been struggling to find a quarterback after rookie Christian Benford broke his hand. The team signed veteran Xavier Rhodes to the practice squad. Rhodes even posted on Twitter to confirm the news by saying #BillsMafia. His most recent playing years were from 2020 to 2021 for the Indianapolis Colts, where he started 29 games over 2 seasons. And the former Sooner Sterling Shepard tore his ACL in his left knee against the Dallas Cowboys. The wide receiver will be out for the rest of the season and maybe for the rest of his time with the Giants. Shepard is in his final year of a deal that he signed during offseason when he had a torn left Achilles. On the bright side of things, New York Jets quarterback Zach Wilson has been medically cleared and will start against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Wilson sat out for the first 3 games because of a preseason knee injury that required surgery. He has been practicing on a limited amount for the past 2 weeks, but is currently practicing at full force for his return this Sunday. A new week for the NFL is starting. Week 4 opens tomorrow with the undefeated Miami Dolphins playing the Cincinnati Bengals. The Dolphins are ranked in the top 5 in passing yards per game, passing touchdowns, and yards per pass attempts. Let's not leave out the strong offense for the Bengals, led by quarterback Joe Burrow. Offense is ranked in the top 5 with 71 first downs, and the notable defense has only allowed 55 points in 3 games. Kickoff is at 7:15 and can be watched on ABC or streamed on Prime Video. That's all I have for sports today. Don't forget to check up on UC Athletics on broncosports.com. Enjoy the rest of your day, and remember, roll Chose. We'll see y'all after this short break.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Hello? Story?
Yes, we'll do the fish right after.
Welcome back, and we did just receive a response from the UCO athletic director during our show. He said he's told the university has asked that all inquiries and interview requests on this topic be directed through university communications, and I have already reached out to university communications.
We know, Jocelyn, you will keep us posted on that story.
Yes, we will
Good
definitely
work
continue to follow that
on
story.
that reporting, yes.
And a new discovery was made in southern China of a fish fossil with the oldest teeth ever found. The fossils date back to the Silurian period, an important era for life on Earth from 443 million years ago to 419 million years ago. Scientists believe that this was around the time when fish developed teeth and jaws. This found fossil is now changing the way scientists consider prehistoric fish and their environment.
That is crazy. You can almost see the jaw
I know, right?
of that fish with those teeth. Well, thank you for joining us this evening on UCentral News. We want to send our good thoughts, prayers, and vibes to those in Florida and those that are going to be affected by Hurricane Ian.
And evacuating, and hopefully everyone's safe. And
we will also keep you updated as this story continues to develop, and our team tomorrow will also keep you developed.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.
Good evening, Broncos.
Good job, bro.